Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 15 of Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, as you know, the 2000s gave us Ultimate Spider-Man, which of course was meant to be the first entry in the 2000s Ultimate Marvel line. And the best way I can sum up the Ultimate Marvel stuff from the 2000s was there to be a slightly grounded, more realistic, but a slightly more before the MCU stuff that kind of took some inspiration from that. And the cover mainly has Ultimate Spider-Man getting ready for action, and the story mainly starts off with a young woman doing some workout until she hears a crash, unaware that it's Ultimate Dr. Octavius, who pretty much ends her life. And we see Ultimate Kenny Khan saying, "Peter Parker is Spider-Man." And we kind of see right away that Ultimate Flash and Liz don't buy it, but keep in mind that obviously Kenny is quite smart, and even he knows that all of a sudden Peter's all good, the spider that bit him and all that, showing how, despite being a jock, Kenny's at least somewhat smart. And we see how obviously Ultimate Flash kind of gives Khan the idea to sort of prove his point, and decides to kind of do a nice good kick to prove his point. So of course decides to do it, and of course Ultimate Peter knows that if he tries to kind of jump out the way, he'll make himself look a little too good. So decides to kind of give Kenny what he wants, and we see right away Ultimate Gwen does the most dumbest thing, bringing an actual knife into school to confront Kenny. And right away we see how the teacher sort of sees the weapon and decides to contact Ultimate Gwen's parents, and decides to take her obviously to detention. And we see how right away Ultimate Captain Stacy gets a phone call, and obviously it's clear that Ultimate Captain Stacy's got a lot going on, the same with the school trying to handle multiple students. And we see how Ultimate Captain Stacy's saying, "Well, no offense, Principal, but I just think your tone is a little absurdity, especially since you're talking to a police captain." And we see right away, obviously after his little phone call, Ben Urich shows up, and of course it's clear that Captain Stacy obviously blames Ben Urich for what happened with Kingpin, and now have, 37 crimes and that without anyone to answer in the tri-state area, showing how, well, Ben Urich thought he did good, it only caused unnecessary problems for the police officers, as well as the captain of the police force, showing how one side thought they were doing good, while the other side obviously has justified reasons for being furious. And we see right away Ultimate Spider-Man stops a purse snatcher, and of course mainly takes the guy down, and of course ends up meeting Ultimate J. Jonah Jameson, and of course plays the whole funny guy act, unaware that he webbed his feet. And we see how after this we kind of see how Ben Urich has done a little bit more research on Dr. Octavius, and of course points out about there's been no death certificate, no death announcement, and points out that he was taken somewhere in a facility named codename Ortegon. And of course even Urich finds out a bit more about this and knows that obviously Dr. Octavius is after something. And of course, given with what obviously happened to him, it's clear that he's gotten a lot worse and he's going to be out for blood, and goes smashing into someone's building, ending the story there. So my best thoughts about issue 15, kind of okay, but it's just there to build up the next bit of the story, setting up a new villain for the whole Ultimate Spider-Man run, who's either given semi or okay wasted potential, and it's there to be obviously trying to be a little grounded, but it's just Bendis working on what he thought could work with the series. An okay story, definitely good, and still deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.